Hello people, welcome to my channel. My name is Hilary and today I will be reading and reviewing Monstress books by Meijeri Liu, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering the name, and Sana Takeda. So I have 6 volumes of these. The volume 1 Awakening, the volume 2 The Blood, the volume 3 Haven, the volume 4 The Chosen, the volume 5 War Child, and volume 6 The Vow. I'm pretty sure there should be a 7th one coming out also at some point, because these are like comprised of short stories, and I'm pretty sure there's more out somewhere, but not in these bind-ups. So I have read before the volumes 1 when I got it, and then when I got it the second one, there had quite a time pass, so I read both of them. And then I decided that I'm gonna read all of them back to back, because that makes much more sense. So reading the first one, it's quite a thicky one. Honestly, I won't recommend reading just the first one, because it has very few like text. It's usually really short sentences. So you usually don't get the whole picture. I got the general better idea when I had read the two of these and what is going on. Do we have? So this is set in an alternative world of Art Deco beauty and steampunk horror. Monstress tells an epic story of Micah Halfwolf, a teenage survivor of a cataclysmic war between humans and Arcanics. In the face of oppression and terrible danger, Micah is both hunter and hunted, searching for answers about her mysterious past, as these who seek to use her means just one step behind. All the while, the monster within her begins to awaken. So we have a character that knows nothing of her past. I'm pretty sure we do get, well, she knows about her past, but not about the war and what happened, as far as I remember. She has lost one of her arms, and I think this is quite a good picture of that. She has lost one of her arms, and she has something inside of her that she feels that is moving and thinking, and something is going on. And there are also several of them. There's the humans, then there are the Arcanics, and I'm pretty sure some use magic, or there was something about that. And also, so after I've read the first book or so, I think I can give a better estimation of what is happening, because I think I lastly read this over a year ago, 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, but I wanted to find a place to show you. So it usually comprises of several short stories or chapters, and yeah, this. So in between chapters we have I think it was called Professor Temtem, that gives a little bit also extra information to tiny kitties, and then also we get some basic, while she's talking to those tiny kitties, we get some basic information about everything. So here we have the races of the known world: humans, ancients, the old gods, cats are children of Ubasti, and Arcanic half-breeds. So really interesting. I do want to read today the volumes 1 and maybe 2, because I am going to give the first or the both of these 2 first ones to my friend on Saturday. Today is Friday, and for her to read. And the first 3 volumes are for my Aurelium TBR. And also the graphic novels, comics, mangas are also on my friend's TBR. That is why one of my friends wants to borrow this. So yeah, but I'll see you soon when I have a little bit more gotten in, and maybe I can do some beauty shots with these also. We'll see how that works. I'm not very good at it, but I think that's about it. I'll see you when I've gotten more to these books. So today is still Friday, and I managed to read Monstress Volume 1 And Monstress Volume 2. I just finished this one, so I am right now caught up to where I was last time. And I'm really enjoying it. First, the art is absolutely beautiful. Second, the world, the mix between the fantasy and sci-fi and steampunk is very interesting, although I haven't seen a lot of the world. But as far as I have seen, I really love it. So in the world we have two main races, the humans and the Arcanas. So the humans are humans, and the Arcanas are, I think, descendants of the old gods that are really big, and some of them are more animal looking, and some of them are half-bloods mixed with humans, and some of them have a little bit more of powers and some of them not. And the humans and the Arcanas have been battling for a really long time. The humans have one advantage, and that is they used something that is coming from the bones of the Arcanas, and they make a substance out of it and they use it for witchcraft, let's call it. And then we have our main character, Micah, I think it's called, half-wolf, and she doesn't remember a lot from her past. She remembers about a big war, something happened in Constantinople, I think it was called, and she remembers something about her mother, and she knows she needs to find her. And also there is this endless hunger inside of her, some sort of power lying low, but also not for very long. So the whole series, as far as book 1 and 2 goes, she is trying to figure out what happened to her mother, and also what is inside of her, how to get it out, and what is going on. It's very dark and bloody and gore. Here is a little picture of, this looks like an old, different kinds of cards, I think. And here we have the little cute foxling that is her friend. We have a necromancers, not necromancer kitties, assassin kitties that can summon the dead and speak to the dead, ghosts. We have unicorns. We have dawn and dusk courts that don't get well with each other. So I'm really excited and to see where we will manage with volume 6, the end of it. I know a lot of people are really enjoying the art, but they're not enjoying the story, but I absolutely love it. And I think like second reading it or third reading the first one, I understood the story perfectly, but I think it's easier if you go through 2 of the volumes. It does give quite a good background and everything else that is happening and explaining it. And also read it, just if you need it, read it twice, or just go through and go in a slower pace. I think that should work out quite well. There isn't a lot of like background information in here. Mostly there's a lot of things that there's just snippets of some people talking, and also there's also always a second line of Micah thinking things through. So there's like literally you're following like twice each of the scenes, because honestly it's just snippets, half a sentence, even less. So otherwise it gets really mixed. But I'm really excited about these. So I don't know if I'm gonna read the third one today, but I'm enjoying it. So in the meantime, I have actually read both the volume 3 and 4, and I'm just going to give you my opinions about it. The first 2 were absolutely brilliant, and I would recommend, as I said previously, to read the first and second volume together. I think it gives you much better comprehension of the whole, the world, characters, and everything else. So for the third volume, honestly, not my favorite. I gave it 4.5 stars, although I have given the first and second one and the fourth one also 5 stars. For me, this For me, this complicated everything. Maybe it's just because I haven't read it before, and definitely I recommend rereading the series. Just make sure that you'll get the full picture. Um, for me, it had a lot more action scenes, a lot of background information about the shaman empress, and also for a lot of new characters and their everybody betraying everybody and political maneuvering and everything else. It's quite political. But for me, it confused a lot, and I think the story was a little bit lacking. However, the fourth volume is, I think, my favorite right now. We get so many other point of views, especially the friend of Micah, who was in the first couple of pages, Tulia, and her story and her background. And then we also get Micah has a couple of friends on her journey together, and we see a little bit of background information of them and their story, although for some of them it also wasn't in here. But also we see so much depth in characters and all the political different groups are moving around and everything else. So I absolutely love this volume. And honestly, it's just so pretty also. We do get a lot of flashbacks with all of them and trying to familiarize ourselves with the history and everything else, while Micah remembers more from her past also. And there is the Corvin from the Dusk Court that we see several times. And honestly, I am really liking him, and I'm really interested to get to know more about his backstory. So I think I'm gonna go pick up to volume 5, and we'll see if I manage to read volume 6 also. My first reading was reading one story per night. First time if I read it. Now I'm going it a little bit more faster, but also I'm looking at the art and everything, details and everything else. So I'm going a little bit faster, but not just breezing through. And honestly, I'm thinking about if this were an actual written book. I think I would love the whole plot and everything else, and you could give so much more extra information and everything else. But also for the world building, I think it wouldn't live up to everything we have here. Can I find something really pretty? The technology and everything else we have, the monsters, the world. It's such a beautiful. I think it's gonna spoil. Well, this is the picture, so it's on the main page also, but all the details and everything else, it's just absolutely beautiful, and I don't think you could get the full picture with actual storybook. But yeah, I'm really happy, and if it ever were to made a show or something, I would, without any hesitation, pick it up, watch it, and love it. So it's the second day, third day of reading, fourth day, I don't know. It's the 4th of April, and yesterday I read the 5th and almost finished the 6th one. And honestly, the cliffhanger at the end of the 6th one just purely killed me. And I have no idea when the next one is coming. I went to the author's homepage and there was nothing written about that. But since all of these have been coming out each year, and the last one came out in 2021, so I am guessing and hoping that we get the 7th one this year. I know there are a couple of it comprises of like short chapters, usually about 5 or so. So I think there should be like 5 of them already published separately. So these wind-ups, I'm hoping, are coming. Wait, I'll just check. So the volume 5, I gave it also 4.5. I'm not sure 100% why we did get a little bit, like in each of the books, we get a little bit more from what happened in Constantinople. And you also get like different kind of storylines, but for this one, there was a battle scene and extra information, but I don't know, I didn't enjoy it as much as, for example, the fourth one that is my favorite. However, the sixth one was absolutely beautiful. So the sixth one is a little bit different. In the beginning, we have two talk stories like these. Two talk stories. I don't know what they are. One looks like it is at some point of our journey, but the second talk story looks like a blast from the past, like a story from the past. And I just skipped those for right now and went for the regular chapters, and then I'm gonna try to read those two today and give you also an overview of those and the rest of the story. But I think I like the most about this is the intrigue. Like this one had a lot of battle scenes, and I didn't care that much because we don't get a lot of new information from that always. So yeah. Also, these like covers and chapter headings and everything else gives a little bit of information or what characters this comic collection concentrates on, and we do get more of the Tulia storyline. And honestly, I absolutely love it. And it's very political. I'm surprised how political it is, but I'm also loving it. And I think in a second reading, I'm going to appreciate all the finer details. Like I always don't get everybody's motive, but when I know at some point what their motive is, I can see the tiny details that are there. So I absolutely love it. And honestly, there's one character that their storyline with Micah just absolutely kills me. And yeah, I don't want to give anything else. I don't want to say anything else, so I'll leave it at that. But I'll come back when hopefully I can maybe at workday today read the 2 short stories or something like that, or after the workday. So I'll come back and finish this and tell you how much I love it. So I read the last of the Monstress volumes. So I think I had mainly the 2 shorter stories in the beginning of volume 6 to read, and they were such good stories. So they were taking place in the right time where they are, but they are just 2 snippets of their everyday life. They're just, it's not very, very important to the bigger story, but basically Micah and Kippa told each other one story from their childhood. So Micah told the story when she was the happiest, and Kippa told the story from the war camps with where I think it's a she spent time with her family. And honestly, it was such a beautiful but such heartbreaking stories, and it made me love this series and this volume so much more. I think the 4th and the 6th ones are my favorites, absolutely. For the series on the whole, it is a little bit hard to get into it, probably for me. Reading it the first time, especially just reading volume 1, as I've said before, got very, very confusing. However, second time and also reading with volume 2, I understood everything so much better. The world is absolutely beautiful, and as far as who I have been following, I really, really think that also that the artwork is masterful. However, I have seen that not everybody loves this series actually. Uh, so I think that's because it's quite confusing on the first try. So I would recommend maybe buying the first two volumes, trying it back to back, and if you like the characters, you get a little bit more background information uh, and how the world works. So you might see whether you like it or not. Otherwise, I really like it. He has a couple of sapphic romance stories here, also in the background, a couple of scenes, um, and it is surprisingly political. So if you love beautiful fantasy with complicated political maneuvering, I think this fits very well, especially because most of the people have their own um, goals in mind, and then there are a lot of backstabbing. People are spies and working for somebody else, and so on and so on. And it's also quite brutal. But honestly, I do not regret buying this, and I would recommend more people to read it because I think it is worth it. I definitely my favorite manga, if anybody manga comics. I think it goes under comics. But if anybody else has this beautiful artwork and complicated fantasy world story recommendation, I would take it definitely. I haven't found anything myself, and but I don't know what to read next. I do have the Buffy one, so I'll probably concentrate on that one, and I also have the graphical novel book 2 of the Dune coming out in the summer, so I'm gonna read that one. But otherwise, we'll see. But this is about it for this video. I do hope you liked me reading and talking about the Monstress volume 1 to 6. And if, or hopefully whenever the volume 7 comes out, I'm gonna be so excited and reading it straight away. But that's about it for today. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and bye!